Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Coffee, where in today's episode, we have some visionary and elating news about the Kenobi series and what we can expect in that plot. That's today here on Star Wars Coffee. Greetings, Exalted Ones. Greetings to all you Jedi, Padawans, and younglings out there. This is Star Wars Coffee, covering everything you need to know about the latest developments, news, and leaks in Star Wars, and as always, giving you my analysis. I'm so happy we've finally been getting some good news on the Kenobi series lately, with this possible filming starting in September as opposed to having to wait up until January and then getting pushed back to March after that. This is some excellent news, and now we're going to continue to follow that up with some even more excellent news about the actual contents of the story in Kenobi. So KRT recently did a scoop discussing the fact that the Kenobi series is going to have a heavy emphasis on flashbacks in Kenobi, which we already knew, which is very good. And we know that Hayden is going to be in the show, and he will wear the Clone Wars armor that we saw Anakin wear, which is fantastic because you got to remember, we never saw this in live action. We saw essentially the Padawan Anakin move right to the Jedi Knight Anakin, because the way George had structured it, Anakin was just a kid in 1, he was his Padawan in 2, and then he was his Jedi Knight in 3. So we never got to see that in-between stage in live action where Hayden was actually donning the Clone Wars armor. We just got that in the animated Clone Wars series. So seeing this in live action will be quite a treat. These Kenobi series, remember how they were doing those script rewrites, and we covered that on the channel. And that was not an unusual thing according to Ewan. He says that this happens nearly on every project you will do. And so the new revised scripts, we have some intel on the plot of those, and they revolve around the Imperial hunt for Kenobi, which means Vader is interested in the hunt, which is very exhilarating to say the least. This is excellent news. So what does this suggest? That's the scoop. Let me break it down and tell you what this suggests. This suggests that the show could feature Hayden just as much as it does Obi-Wan, but still being referred to as the Kenobi series, since Ewan McGregor is currently the only one being marketed as having signed on in this major way. So, the show still will revolve around Kenobi, and likely what this will do is tie into that scene that we see in A New Hope, where Obi-Wan is explaining to Luke what he knows about his father from his point of view, and without revealing too much to Luke. So remember, Obi-Wan at the end of episode 3 still seems very, very sharp, very with it, and by the time we meet him in 4, which is 19 years later, he seems withered and distant from his past self, from his past life as a Jedi. So this will likely bridge that gap. It will have to bridge that gap. If it doesn't bridge that gap, then the Kenobi series has done something wrong. Because what it's supposed to accomplish is bridging the gap between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope's versions of Kenobi. Because like I said, Obi-Wan at the end of Revenge of the Sith, still very smart, very with it. We have to see how this character turns into what we see in A New Hope, where he's slower, he seems to have more of a post-traumatic stress disorder type of element to the character, and this is where that's going to have to bridge in, which is where Hayden will play a massive role as Anakin in these flashbacks, but he will also be playing this as Vader, right? Because if the scripts revolve around the Imperial hunt for Kenobi, that means Vader is very interested in that hunt, because obviously he would be the one to lead that. And remember, in A New Hope, George was distinctly able to create this open window of opportunity for continuation and a deeper dive into this one line where Darth Vader says, "I sense something that I haven't sensed since," and he just continues and walks off. And that allowing this to take that deep dive can help bridge this as well into the Vader aspect of what I was talking about, where we have now set up what I've laid out for you guys is we have now set up the goal that must be accomplished by accompanying the journey of Kenobi from 3 to 4, while bridging the Anakin Hayden arc into what we saw him in episode 4, where he was completely done, completely filled with the hate, where he sensed something he hasn't sensed since, and we have that opportunity to explain since when, right? So we will have Hayden appearing as Anakin and likely Hayden appearing as Vader. Now, it would make sense for him to do both, considering he did both in Revenge of the Sith. It would just make more sense. You wouldn't have to cast an extra guy, you wouldn't have to cast an extra character. And one of the genius things that Hayden did as Anakin, that I know a lot of people think that this is bad acting, but he distinguishedly voiced the character's lines as if you could hear Vader saying them. That's why he talked in that sort of scattered and staggered type of manner. And so what this presents is this great opportunity to bridge this story. And that's why these details are so vitally important. So these script rewrites sound fantastic, with a heavy emphasis on the Clone Wars flashback, which will help bridge that idea of Kenobi being a little slower and a little more hesitant to continue to go out. Is all of that has really set in and has given him that type of stress disorder. And we will have that extra bridge of the relationship between Kenobi and Vader, where we will see the side of Vader and why he was so adamant and so ready and so willing to not really hesitate to strike Kenobi down. So I think that this is all fantastic news. I don't see a way that you can read this as negative. If you ask me specifically, and I know a lot of fans are starting to feel this way as the prequels continue to gain age, is that Hayden did a great job as Anakin. I personally think that Hayden was always my favorite character. Anakin was in the prequels. And especially in Revenge of the Sith, which is where we're going to see that armor. We're going to have to see that long type of hair from Anakin. And it's going to be great, because I think everybody wanted to see more of that, and now we're finally going to get to see that. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Remember, Hayden hasn't really aged that much. You can look at a picture of Hayden from Revenge of the Sith, and then a picture of Hayden now. Dude looks the exact same. The gentleman has not really aged at all. And that's something that you can rarely say for actors. Ewan still looks fantastic as well. So this is like the perfect time and perfect opportunity to do this, as Ewan has gained more age in the sense that he's closer to Alec Guinness. And this would be excellent for Hayden, because we've been 15 years as opposed to the 19 years when it would have been for A New Hope, where Luke would have been. But by the time we see this, who knows, maybe it will have actually been 19 years. So the timing is just perfect. Everything is flawless. Let me know what you guys think about all of this analysis in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. May God bless you and the Force be with you always. If you enjoyed this episode, and frankly, even if you didn't, don't forget to subscribe. Do it! And if you want to help spread the word, please give this video a thumbs up and tell your friends to subscribe. Please check out the official Star Wars Coffee merchandise, and don't forget to check out all of the content playlists on this channel, including The Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, and much more.